Good morning. My name is Judy Moore, and I have been blessed to be a member of this congregation for over 40 years. And I was very pleased to share with you a devotion this morning. So I hope this brings you something to think about. One of my very favorite passages is from 1 Corinthians 13, beginning with the 4th verse, and it's one that's probably very familiar to most of you. So it starts like this. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Now, I've got this passage from Corinthians on several different plaques throughout my home. I've got one on my desk, I've got one in my kitchen, I've got one in the guest room. So it means a lot to me, and I've turned to this verse during different times of my life, sometimes in celebrations, such as weddings, and that's probably where most of you have heard this, but I've also turned to it in times of suffering or grief, because I find that it reminds me that God's love is here for me always. It's never going to end. It's constant, it perseveres, it never ends. The qualities that Apostle Paul describes is a love that's pure, unselfish, and expects nothing in return. Now, Jesus also had quite a few things to say about love. In John 15, verse 9, he says, "As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you." And then in verse 12, he says, "My command is this, love each other as I have loved you." Notice that he's not suggesting that we love each other. He's commanding it. And he repeats his focus on love many times throughout his words to the disciples. Love plays a prominent part in the Bible. In fact, I looked up in my concordance, and love was referenced 158 times. Now, since March, we have all experienced a plethora of things: sheltering in place, social distancing, wearing masks, eruptions of protests and calls for police reform and racial equality. Boy, that's a lot for us to handle, both emotionally, physically, and mentally. But through all this, we are still called to love one another. In fact, we're commanded to love one another as God has loved us. Love that is patient, kind, always trusts, hopes, and perseveres. Now, I have this hanging in my bedroom, and it is something that was made for me by one of my grandsons when he was about 2 years old. And you'll see, when I look at this, I just see lots of colors. I see, kind of reminds me of the world. Very colorful, colors next to each other, different colors. It's chaotic. It's even a little messy. But look what shines through. Love. Love comes over all of this mess. I hope that it shines purely and clearly, and I hope that that reminds you as well, that even though this world is crazy and messy right now, love can shine through. There's a song I've been hearing on the radio lately by a Christian artist, Danny Gokey, and the refrain goes like this: "Gotta keep it real simple, bring everything down to ground zero. It all comes down to this: love God, love people." I think that sums it up pretty well. Love God, love people. So in this time of uncertainty and confusion, I pray that the love of God sustains us and guides us to show that same love. May you have a blessed day.